Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday. Boy, what a difference 3 days makes. My cash lineup is going to look a little bit different than it did, what was it, on Tuesday? That I did my last video on. So, first, I want to basically point out who's going to be the popular cash game picks. Here we go. I'm not going to give too much technical analysis because it's week one, and it's really hard to see what kind of a team every team's going to be. It takes 3 or 4 weeks to figure out who is who, basically. Dalvin Cook, it's going to be the highest owned running back. We're going to go Carson. I think he's going to be the second highest owned running back at home against the Bengals. They're going to run the ball. He should get 20 to 30 carries. And if I'm not mistaken, they've been working with him catching the ball. So he might have 2 or 3 catches. He might break one loose. He's probably my biggest bet to score a touchdown or 2 in this whole lineup. Let's see, receiver. I think the most popular receiver is going to be Dede. He is apparently Foles' favorite target. They're going to be behind. The Chiefs struggle on defense. They did last year. I don't think the only change they had is that they shipped what's his name? D Ford. They shipped him out, and they have Frank Clark from the Seahawks. So as long as Foles can, get the throw off, no one's going to be able to cover the receivers and Dede Westbrook out of the slot. If you see a pattern here, I always like running backs that can catch the ball, and I like slot receivers. Okay, let's see. Actually, I think the highest owned receiver might be Tyler Lockett, which last year, each and every week, literally no one owned this guy. He was like one of my favorite GPP plays. I could never play him in cash because he was not going to be highly owned, and if he had flopped, then he'd be behind cash. So yeah, but I like him. Out of the slot, the Bengals will not be able to cover him. There's no Doug Baldwin this year. DK Metcalf might play, may not play. The Seahawks don't really have another receiver at this point in week one than Tyler Lockett, which is why they're going to run the ball a lot. But he might see 10 targets, at least 6 to 10 targets. I have a feeling he's going to break one, or he's going to be uncovered 60 yards downfield for a touchdown. So he's one of my favorite plays from last year for GPP. Won't play him in cash. Now, defense, we're just going to go Tampa Bay. If you have the extra money left over and can get the Ravens, your Eagles, even Cowboys or Browns, then go for that. But if you don't, the Buccaneers are your best bet. To score 150, you have to have a 3 times projection. So if they get 6 points, they're along their projection line. Quarterback, I like Winston for GPP. I like Goff on Tuesday. I have him in one GPP lineup. I don't like him for cash. He was much better at home last year, now that I can remember that. I had a tough time. I had it between Lamar Jackson and Foles, and I had 2 cash lineups earlier today. I really liked Lamar Jackson. He could go off for 4 touchdowns, but he can also get pulled in the third quarter because they're up by 6 touchdowns. I want to play Lamar Jackson, but I think for cash, Foles, this goes into our template of you got to go for a cheap quarterback. It's more than likely he'll hit value. But I do like Lamar Jackson, so whichever you prefer. But I think Foles, I mean, I know it's week 1 and offenses aren't really in sync, but Foles could throw easily 300, 350, 400 yards with 2 or 3 touchdowns. I mean, at this point, he might just run, like, he might run one in himself. I imagined he would be like 30%, 20% owned, maybe 23% owned in cash. But right now, it looks like he might be like 8% owned. And that would be perfect for cash. Because you have Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook should be 40% owned in cash, if not more. Chris Carson, probably 30%. Dede Westbrook, maybe 50%. So there's a lot of high ownership, but you can make up the difference with Foles. So one play I think that's not really getting enough attention in other videos is Adam Thielen. I bet Diggs plays. I'd rather have Diggs play, even though all the news and notes are saying if Diggs doesn't play, then Thielen is going to have more targets. But when Diggs doesn't play, then teams can focus more on Thielen. And if Diggs is just out there as a decoy, even as long as Thielen doesn't get double or triple teamed, he's going to break 1 or 2 loose. He could have a 140-yard receiving day. So I like Thielen, but I have to warn you, last year whenever I had Thielen, especially down the stretch, he didn't do so hot. So take that as you wish. Now I know a lot of other videos stop after like 4 picks. I'm just going to give you my whole lineup for cash. So let's do that right now. Tight end, I had Uzomah earlier. I still like him, but with this lineup, we can go up. Oh, TJ Hawkinson, I had him in my cash lineup earlier today. This is the guy got drafted 8th overall last year out of Iowa. Iowa had 2 outstanding tight ends last year. I know that Marvin Jones and and Marvin Jones and Galladay are your top 2 targets, and then you have Kerryon Johnson out of the backfield, so he's gonna be like the 4th target. But I don't like playing rookies too early. I kind of want to see what he does, but I think he could have 50 yards and a touchdown and like 3 or 4 catches. I think he's going to surprise people. No one's going to have him. I think I have him on 1 or 2 GPP teams, but literally no one should have this guy. No one will ever have heard of him before until he has a big game, which could come this week, but I'm going to say I would bet on that it comes later on in the season. So Delaney Walker I like a lot, coming off an injury. The most popular pick is going to be Hunter Henry, and I'm just going to go with the crowd on this one. So if you noticed, we have a lot of money left over. I like Saquon. A lot of people are going to like McCaffrey. I think McCaffrey's going to be higher owned than Saquon is, actually. I love Todd Gurley here. He's won me so many weeks last year for cash. He is not going to be that highly owned whatsoever. We don't really know how his knee is or how many touches he's going to get. He could go for 3 touchdowns. Could go for over 50 yards receiving with 4 or 5 catches. I can't play him in cash this week, but definitely GPP. David Johnson, I think, is a great GPP play. Too many D's there. Sorry, guys. I liked Le'Veon Bell. I liked him earlier this week. But it's a new team. Kind of want to see how he does. But he could be a good GPP. But let's just go with Saquon to wrap this video up in the next couple minutes. So I like Foles, Dalvin Cook, Chris Carson, Dede Westbrook, Lockett, Thielen, Hunter Henry, Saquon, and the Buccaneers D with 300 left over. A lot of people are going to try to get their budgets at 0. So one way to be different is don't. 300 to, if it was like 8 to 900, maybe 700, I'd try to upgrade. But I think this is going to be the best cash lineup combination that I'll be able to come up with this week. And yeah, I was going to go to GPP real quick. I don't really talk about GPP too often. But GPP, oh, bless you. Oh, it's one of my doggies. Okay. So I talked about Lamar Jackson. I love him, especially GPP. But I think these quarterbacks, Jameis, Cam, Goff, Russell Wilson, I think this is the range where not too many people will actually go. I like Jameis. This is the highest projected game, if I'm not mistaken. My big sleeper, I think, even though Tevin Coleman's there, I think Breda. This is definitely a Breda GPP week. I know I said on Tuesday that there's no one player that won on these two teams playing, but there's a lot actually if you really look at it. So I apologize for that. We're gonna go with Godwin. Godwin's gonna be a really popular cash play as well. I wanted to play him in cash, but I couldn't fit him in on that team that you just saw. So I think. Oh, also, I don't know if he's gonna be a sleeper this week. Mark Ingram, pair him up with Lamar Jackson, should be good to go. But this team is if Ingram just runs wild and Lamar Jackson doesn't have to run more than like 5 or 6 times because they're going to be having a big lead. You could go Baltimore Ravens. I like the Buccaneers though, but like. I think the prices are all wrong this week. They're pretty cheap and low for everyone. So it's not really, you don't really need to try your best effort to save cash. I just like Breda because I don't think he's going to be highly owned. I think people are going to look at Tevin Coleman as a starter, and they don't want Tevin Coleman, so they're just going to pass on that position for this game. Peyton Barber, I don't want to mess with, but watch whoever wins the Millie maker is going to have him on there probably. But I think this is a good start for GPP. And yeah, and then the other positions that are blank, I just covered in cash. So for GPP, I really like Jameis, Ingram, Breda, Kittle, and Godwin. And yeah, another reason why I don't have the Buccaneers defense because I have 2 49er players, so they might cancel each other out. But yeah. Like half my plays, the GPP is going to be stacked in this game. And then also, if you wanted to pair up Fournette and Dede Westbrook with Nick Foles and another GPP I have, that'd be a great GPP combination as well. Stack, I guess people say. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for subscribing. Please smash that like button, that thumbs up. Please leave a comment below. Let's keep this conversation going. Tell me who you like, who you don't like, who you're going to play instead. Anyways, let's go win some money. And yeah, have a good one.